Okay, let's look at module 5. It's getting more interesting. It's getting more interesting. Power audits. Power audits. Please come closer. I beg you, come very close and listen. We want to talk about power audit, and I had already let you understand that no power audit, no solar system installation. No power audit, no solar system installation. Because if you venture into installing solar without power audit, a professional one at that, a professional power audit, you might be jumping from pillar to pole. So let's dive into chapter 6, which discusses the concepts of power audits in the solar industry. So before any solar system design or installation is carried out, a professional power audit of the facility must be carried out to determine the power consumption of the facility. To determine what? The power consumption of the facility. It is after proper power audit that the size and the cost of the solar system can be ascertained. It is after a professional power audit, and after that solar system design, and you select materials, write quotation. That is the only time you can be sure of the costs of the solar system installation. So what is this power audit we are talking about? If somebody asks you what is power audit, then power audit is basically an energy analysis, energy audit of a particular facility. We will talk about some of these terms so that when we use them, you don't get confused. So power audit is taking inventory of the electrical load, the roof dimension, the site, the facility properties to enable you size a system that will run the electrical load in that facility. So basically, power audit is the feasibility study carried out on the energy consumption of a particular building or facility. We say feasibility study. We will talk about feasibility study at length. So when we say feasibility study, you go to a particular facility, you do energy audit, energy analysis of the electrical load that will be used with the solar system, and you look at the present power generation cost, and you look at, if you go solar, what will be the cost, and you do a comprehensive, a professional feasibility study to determine whether the facility will need solar or not. It's not all facility that you can install solar, as we will see and as we progress. So power audit is essentially an energy analysis of a facility. An energy audit involves the systematic review of the energy consuming equipment or system in a building to identify energy management opportunities, that is EMOs, which provides useful information for the building owner to decide on and implement the energy saving measures for environmental consideration and economic benefits. When we say EMOs, we are talking about energy management opportunities, how you can effectively manage power so that you don't spend so much money in going solar or when you want to go solar. Assuming you are using all those analog outdated electrical appliances, maybe AC, or AC is maybe 2.5 horsepower, all those analog AC, that ancient ACs, ancient fridge that consume a lot of power, fluorescent, incandescent, 200-watt bulb. You don't use those kind of electrical appliances with solar because they consume lots of power. The kind of electrical loads that is used now are energy efficient, energy saving electrical loads. Those are the kind of electrical loads that is used on solar system, not all those analog outdated solar electrical loads. You will not be able to install solar that will power those kind of loads. So when you go for power audit, you have to look at the energy management opportunities that will help you cut down on the cost of solar system installation. And most times you can think of load shifting, that is powering some of the electrical load with other power sources. You can think of running some of the electrical load during the daytime. So all these are different energy management opportunities that you can think of. So power audit will give you all those information when you visit the site. Power audit involves you visiting the site, seeing the site physically. It's not something you stay in your house and somebody will tell you, oh, I need solar. How much? You stay and give quotation. No, you should. Let me not say you should. You must visit the site. Or if the site is very far from you, you can maybe communicate with the client, tell him or her what to do, the information that you need, and he will document it and send you as a document. You work with those information. So power audit is basically an energy analysis of a particular building to determine whether it will be financially feasible for the client to go solar. So let's look at some of the terms we will be using while discussing power audit. Let's look at load. What is load? We already know it is not the one you carry on top of your head. We are talking about electrical load. So electrical loads can be nature of electrical load. It can be resistive load. We'll talk about this at length. Inductive load, capacitive load. So power system load can be domestic load, commercial load, industrial load, agricultural loads. So but loads are basically electrical appliances that will be used with the solar system. So load means your electronics and the power they consume. Example, your laptop, your phone, your television, etc. So these are some of the electrical loads that are common in different houses. There are more to this, but we decided to just bring this to your notice so that you know what we mean by load, so that you don't misunderstand us. So when we say load, we are actually talking about electrical load. We are not talking about your bed or other things. So facility. What is facility? Facility means your church, your residential building, your business premises, your school, your mosque, and the rest. So facility means your house, your business premises, your school, your company, etc. You can see different facilities here. Let's not waste our time. So energy management opportunities. What do we mean by energy management opportunities? So energy management opportunities means the different ways to achieve energy efficiency and conservation. The different ways to achieve energy efficiency and conservation. I've talked about using analog outdated electrical load that consume lots of power compared to what we are having now, in which we use energy efficient electrical load, and they are used basically for solar systems. So when we say energy management opportunities, we are talking about those ways we can use energy effectively, efficiently to enable us reduce the cost of solar system installation. The next thing on our list here is why embark on power audit. What is the reason, the rationale behind going for power audit? Is it really worth it? Yes. I've already said that without power audit, a comprehensive or a professional power audit, please avoid issues. Try, if you cannot go there, work with the client to give you vital information that you will need to design the solar system. So why embark on power audit? We'll embark on power audit so that it will give you first-hand information on how much it will cost you to switch to solar power. Remember, all this information we are giving you, they are gotten from our textbook, Solar Exclusive, The Secrets Made Simple. We are still talking about first thing first in the solar industry. These are the things that you need to be very familiar with. Don't rush. Don't say, I want to install, I want to go to site. What are you going to site to do? For Christ's sake, what's for? What, you don't know anything about solar. You just want to go to site and install. Abba, it is putting things in the wrong perspective. You need to study first, understand all these things before you think of going to site. So it gives you first-hand information on how much it will cost you to switch to solar power. Then it will enable you design and build the best solar energy system. I said that our system had never failed. The secret is we adopt international standard. We don't miss anything. The small details, we adhere to them. Like everything depends on it. Already everything depends on them. So we adhere to those ethics, those principles in the solar industry. So we cannot just design system, give somebody quotation without visiting the site. What if you go, the solar panel plane is too far from the powerhouse? Where will you get money to buy the cables? If you do that and you get to the site, the client had already paid you, you get to site and you required so much length of cable, you will try to maneuver your way so that you don't run at a loss or you don't use your money to buy cable. And that might warrant you to buy substandard components. So we don't allow that to happen. We have to visit site. So when we visit site, it will enable us design and build the best solar energy system. So note, so why embark on power audit? I had to come up with this pictorial representation. So it will help you develop database, assist in planning for future expansion. Yes, when you go for power audit, you will be able to discuss with the client how far about your future energy load and all those things. So it will help you, assist you in planning for future expansion. Maybe the client said in 3 months or in 6 months time, I will buy AC. It will help you plan for this. So it helps you develop the database. So highlight potential improvements to existing systems. Yes, it helps you improve on the existing system that is there. So determine whether energy is being used efficiently. It helps you determine whether energy is being used efficiently. So identify cost savings, that is energy management opportunities. The ways, better ways you can conserve power, better ways that you can conserve energy. You might go to a client's house and the client, you look at everything, power audit, and the system you are supposed to give the client might be 10 kVA. But you sit down with the client and tell the client, see, installing 10 kVA, this is the estimate, but this your load, you can still use 5 kVA and still run it, but this is how you'll be managing the power. This is how you'll be managing your power. So instead of spending 10 million to install 10 kVA, you spend 5 million to install 5 kVA. Is that not wise decision that you have given to the client? So that is the reason you need to go for Power Audit. So it identifies cost savings approach or processes, identify cost savings for the clients, so that you'll be able to get the contract. Because there are some clients, you go and tell him 10 million, his budget was 5 million. He will look at you and say, no problem now. Later, when I have money, I'll call you. Later, he call another person to come and do Power Audit. This person will come and look at the client and first thing and look at the client and ask him. Remember to ask him, sir, what is your budget? The client will tell him it's 5 million. So the person will give him a customized system that his budget can carry. The system will still run. It only boils down to energy management. So when you go for Power Audit, this will be visible. All this information will be visible than you staying in your house and designing a system, sending cost to the client. You are scaring these people away. You are missing opportunities. So approach this industry professionally. So it identifies opportunities for saving energy. We had already said this. So let's look at an executive summary of how Power Audit is addressed. Please listen. There is always a better way. There is always a better option for doing something. When you want to do anything that is worth doing is worth doing well. So let's take a closer look at an executive summary of how Power Audit is addressed. So Power Audit explained. So executive summary. So overview of the audit. EMOs identified. What do I mean here? Overview of the audit. When somebody calls you and tell you, okay, I need solar. You ask him, where's your location? Where's your house? Is it a 2-story building, 3-story building, a bungalow? He will give you the information. Okay, what do you want to power? When can I come for the audit? That is overview. When you visit there, you go there, and most times he will be telling you, you might, during the conversation, you might ask him, sir, what do you want to? You mention AC, fridge, and all those AC, 3 AC, and all those things. And you ask him, sir, please, what is your budget? When he mentions his budget, you will know exactly whether he will be able to run those loads, electrical load. Because as a professional, when somebody tell you the electrical load that he or she is going to use, you will have a rough estimate of, without going for Power Audit. Power Audit is to cement or to see things for yourself and be sure that this information, the data you are going to plug into your calculation, they are genuine, they are authentic. It is free from error. So that is the reason. So as a professional, you can, when you communicate with the client, you'll be able to have an estimate of how much it will cost the client to go solar. So at this point, you can always advise him even on the phone. Sir, I know that solar can take 5 AC, but sir, but this is your budget. I think you should be running some of your electrical loads using alternative power source, maybe NEPA and maybe your generator. So that is EMOs identified, even without going to site. So the overview of the audit is you are able to get information. You are able to get information about the site you are going to visit, because some site will require you to rent ladder. Some site will require you to carry scaffold and the rest. So that is an overview of the energy audit. EMOs is giving the clients energy management options. So recommended actions, briefing on implementation plan. Recommended actions, you need to start taking action, you need to start planning. The client will not just he has to plan to receive you. Sometimes you tell him, sir, bring logistics. So that is recommended action. You people have agreed on something and you have accepted to visit the client. You start planning, you start calling your team to be ready. You start calling your team to be ready that you people will go for site inspection You people will go for site inspection. The tools, the materials you need to use on site must be ready. So recommended action. So briefing on implementation plan. If you will not follow, even when you will be following them to that power audit, you have to brief your team of how the power audit will be addressed, what should be considered and what should not be considered. It's not everything. Sometimes it's not everything you will capture during power audit. It depends on the agreement between your company and the client. So briefing on implementation plan, how the plan will be executed. So introduction to a building information. Like I had already said, when you visit the site, you need to ask certain questions. Sir, is this building your own? Is it owned by you, or it is another person's building? You need to know the coordinates of the building. You need to know certain information about the building. Okay, do you people always have NEPA? Is it connected to the grid, or it's not connected to the grid? Do you have generator? If we are doing, most times if we are doing commercial build installation or industrial mini grid, we have to have a map, a sketch of the facility that we are visiting. Where is the gate? Where is the generator house? It's not an easy thing. So that is that. So that is introduction to building. Is it a business premises or is it residential? So you need to get all this information from the client. So objectives, energy audit scope, audit team. You people have set in, you have moved. So objective of the power audit. Why do you people visit the site for audit? You have to know, is it for a standalone system? Is it for hybrid system? You need to take into consideration is it a commercial solar system? Is it an industrial? So you need to know the objective, why your team is visiting the site for power audit. And energy audit scope. When you are doing residential power audit, the scope is different from when you are doing power audits for commercial, industrial, or mini grid project. There are different approach you use when you are addressing the different types of solar installation. So, or classification of solar system installation. So audit team, you have to prepare your audit team. They must be smart. They must know what they are doing. It's not when you tell somebody, go and climb the roof. He will tell you, sir, I don't like climbing roof, or I'm having phobia about heights. So you don't carry those people. Let them be in the office. Or when it is time for power house, they can come and do it. So you need to set your team ready and inform them properly. So building characteristics, type, floor areas, operation. So that is what I've already said. You have to, if you are going for commercial building, you have to measure. Sometimes we used to measure the building, measure how length of the building, width of the building. But it's not easy. That is what the company need, and you do it. You send it as document to the company that contracts you. So description of the equipment, system audited. So you have to system type, capacity rating, zoning, operation, operating hours, operation hours. So description of the equipment, that is the electrical loads you will see in the facility. So you have to know the system types. Is it the system, the different electrical, the different types of electrical load? Is it system type? Is it an inductive load? Is it resistive load? Is it capacitive load? Is it critical load? Is it phantom load? So you have to understand the different types of load in the facility, as this will help you know how to design the solar system professionally. If you just go and take the inventory of those things and go, you need to study the electrical load, as this will help you know how to. So capacity rating, you need to take into consideration what is the rating, that is what is the power consumption. What is the power consumption of each of the electrical load? That is capacity rating, zoning, operation hours. That is how many hours will each of this electrical load be operated. So you need to take into consideration all these things during power audit. We are talking about a professional way. Power audit explain a step-by-step approach, what is required when you go for power audit. So energy, data, and survey findings, historical energy consumption of the building. Like I already said, you need to look at the feasibility study. By this, I mean you go to a facility and you ask them, how much have you people been spending on NEPA lights? That is the grid, the national grid. How much? If you go, we go to some of these commercial buildings and we want to install solar, you have to do feasibility study to know when the installation will give return on investment, because it is the feasibility study that will give you a clue to when the return on investment will be gotten from when the person is going solar. So you need an historical data information about the energy consumption of the facility and how much they have been running fuel, they have been repairing generator, they have been recharging the grid. Yes, you need all this information, but because these are the information you will use to defend your own proposal or quotation. Somebody is spending 10 million in a year on power. Somebody is spending 10 million in a year on power. And your cost of solar system installation for the person is 15 million or 20 million. That means in 2 years, he will get return on investment. So, but when you are devoid of facts and figures, how will you be able to defend your quotation? When you present the quotation, the person will say 15 million, how far? It's too much. I don't have such money. But he has been having money to run diesel in a year and he spent 10 million. So you need this historical data, information to use and defend your own proposal and quotation. So that is historical energy consumption of the building. System performance, evaluation, another thing. So you need to know how the system is operated and the condition of the system. So executive summary, then identification and evaluation of potential EMOs, how you can conserve power, how you can advise the client to know how to manage power. Frankly speaking, you get more results when you visit a client to talk to him, to educate him about going solar, because you will be able to explain all these things to his own understanding and he will love working with you. They will have the confidence that you know what you are doing. But when you just stay in your house and say, okay, sir, I'll send you quotation, without getting in touch, having a personal relationship with the client, you end up missing that client. I don't advise you to go to plan installing system for a client without going for power audit. So list of recommended AMOs and implementation plan. You need to tell him, okay, sir, this load, you will be running it during these hours. This load, you will be running this during these hours. This particular load, you will be running this during this hour. So all these things are the EMOs that you need to make it available for the client to reduce the cost of solar system installation for the client. If you go there and you propose 20 million for the installation, and another person goes to that same facility and propose 10 million, if you are the one, who will you choose? Who will you choose? So you have to understand energy management opportunities. The options is very important. And client might not know. You are the person that will educate him on how he can conserve, manage, and reduce. This will help you reduce the cost of installing system maybe to your clients. So basic tools for conducting solar power audit. Basic tools for conducting solar power audit. Remember, we said that we are going to tell you or show you the nitty-gritty tools that you use in the solar industry, but we have a session for this anyway. So, but let's just introduce you to some of the tools so that if you want to consult us, or if you want to go for power audit, you can know exactly what to go with. You don't go with empty hand. No, you need tools, basic tools for this. And I will be very fast. You need your writing material, very, very important. You need your clamp meter or multimeter for measurement. You need your vernier caliper. We had already said this for checking of the roof gauge. You need your digital compass. Your phone can save this purpose as well. You need your measuring tape. Step-by-step approach for conducting solar power audits. Step-by-step approach for conducting power audits. Let's look at it. The very first thing, when you go, I already mentioned that when you install solar, you should put in professionalism in your cable arrangement. Aesthetics of your work is very key to your success. Aesthetics, how you arrange your finishing, is very important. Don't just do your work shabby. It's powering, it's working. Those haphazard arrangement of cable must stop, else you get into trouble, because you don't know who will come and kick the cable. Before you know it, somebody's house is set on fire. So you need to put your cables, arrange them well. So when you go for power audit, so please go to the DB and check whether how is the electrical architecture of the building. So check the electrical architecture of the building to ensure the type of electrical installation that was done. I will not waste time. So look at these two DBs. Which one will you prefer? Which one will you prefer? Look at how this one is haphazard. Look at neat job. So check the following defective DBs. There are some DBs, when you go there, you'll be seeing spark. You will be seeing spark. You will be seeing spark. As a professional, you want to integrate your power, your solar power into such DB. You need to correct it before you can include your power there. Else, one thing or the other will just shut down your system. And they will not know that it is that DB. They will say, we have been using this system. We have been staying in this house. Nothing happened. Immediately you come and install solar, the house is set on fire. And you have yourself to blame because you refuse to follow professional ethics in the industry. So check the following defective DBs and change over switches, etc. Take stock of the electrical loads to be powered with proposed solar energy. And I had already told you that we use energy efficient electrical load with solar system, not outdated analog high consuming electrical load. So check the ratings of the electrical load. The ratings of any electrical loads is always on the nameplate. It is always on the nameplate. When you look at any electrical load, you see it rated in watts. If it is not rated in watts, you see it rated in maybe voltage and current. When you multiply voltage and current, you have the rating of the electrical load. I believe you are following me. Don't forget, we are still talking about first thing first. You can see like this one now, it is 700 watts, 700 watts, 700 watts. So the rating of any electrical load is always written on the nameplate. Look at the back of the electrical load. You see a nameplate, something like this. Even the solar components you buy, you always see the nameplate on it. So consider the operating hours of each of the electrical load. We said this before. The operating hours of the electrical load affect the size of the solar system. So you have to consider the operating hours of each of the electrical load. Document it. So agree on the powerhouse or equipment room, especially when you are going for commercial or industrial solar system installation. The materials, the components will be much. And it's not something you go and pack them in one corner like that. You need a spacious space, or they can build a fridge powerhouse for the purpose of installing the solar components. So determine the cable length that will be needed for the solar system installation. You have to determine this because cables are very costly. If you are buying 50 mm, 50 meters, you know what that means. You know that one means what that if you buy one roll of cable now, you know what that means. So if you don't take measurement of the cable length from the powerhouse to the DB, from the powerhouse to the DB, from the roof plane to the powerhouse, from the powerhouse to the generator, and if how you will distribute power, so you have to take measurement of the cable length that will be needed for the solar system installation. Remember, you are not going to use your money to buy this component. It is the client money, so you must be very professional about it to avoid stories that touches the heart. The money you gave me was not enough. I forgot. What thing you forget? What were you thinking of? Agreement is agreement. It has been signed. Nothing you can do. You have to deliver. So check the roof status. You can don't try this. You go and see this kind of roof. Call for roof overhaul. Call for change of roof. So check for roof status. Check for missing roof, damage, defective, or under-specified roofing sheet. The gauge is too small. You can't install power. Except you want to stain your name. You finish installation and the roof is leaking. They will call you. Will you go up there, bring the panels down? The roof man will come and fix up the roof. You mount again. When you leave, the roof still leak because the gauge does not support movement. So please always ensure that you check the roof status. Is it efficient? Is it okay? Is it manageable? Please don't manage. Instead of that, go and look for stanchion, construct and mount the solar panel to protect your image. So check for missing roof and the rest. You can see when we got to this side, this was the roof. So we had to tell the clients, this was a commercial project. We had to tell the client, sir, this roof, we have to change it. And new roofing sheets were bought, standard gauge. This was done, roof racking was done, and at the end of the day, we have this beautiful and professional roof racking. Will you be able to mount? You cannot do work on this. Everywhere will be dripping water. When you finish, the people will not be able to stay inside of the roof again. So it's important for you to bring to the notice of the client that this roof is not good for solar panels installation. So carry out a proper check on the roof to know if the roof is suitable for solar panel installation, and if not, request for roof maintenance or ground mount So basically, when you go, you have to take the dimension of the roof. You have to take the dimension of the roof. This is what we do. I'm not talking what other people are doing. This is exactly what we pass through before you see us install any solar system, be it residential, commercial, industrial, mini grid. It is a professional way that we follow. This is just for residential, or if you come for commercial or industrial, okay, you go see me. So, okay, check the roof dimension. The roof dimension will ascertain whether that roof space will be enough for your proposed solar system design. Because I've already said that the roof dimension affects the size of the solar system you give to a client. Remember, the roof is where you mount the solar panels, and if the roof is not big enough and you are having much storage, much solar battery, you will not have enough power from the solar panel to charge the solar battery. So that means you need extra space to mount the solar panel. So that is how the roof affect the size of the solar system installation. So if there is no extra space, you have to the battery storage must correspond with the solar panels you are using, except there is other alternative power sources that will be used to charge the solar battery. Because if your solar battery is not fully charged, it poses a serious challenge to the solar system installation. So check the roof dimension if it will contain all the panels if proposed solar panels are much. You can see roof plane, we call it roof plane and dimension 9 meters. This is the front, 11.4 meters, and this is exactly how this roof was. So you have to snap it, you have to go back and draw it, you have to put all the dimension. It's not small thing. So when you just do your own the anyhow, all these things will enable us understand exactly what we are doing. From here we will be able to understand how many panels, like I had already showed you, how many solar panels would be mounted here, how will we arrange the panels and the rest. So like you can see, locate this installation plane for the solar panels installation. We have different roof planes. There is a way you connect solar panels in series or parallel depending on the roof plane, because sometimes the sun will set in this other side, sun will rise in this other side. So there you have to study the sun movement in a particular location to know how you connect your panel either in series or parallel in a particular roof plane. So we call this the roof plane. You can say plane 1, you can see plane 1, plane 2, plane 3. The other side, you will still have, there are some roofs you climb and the number of planes is much. So you have to determine which plane will be the best for mounting of the solar panel. So if ground mount, sometimes you go there and it requires you to do ground mounting. You use a stanchion. You use stanchion and install the solar panels when the roof is not enough to accumulate all the solar panels or to contain all the solar panels. So you use ground mount. So if ground mount will be used, find a suitable space for the construction of the panel stanchion. So like this one, check for shading and advise the client accordingly. Please, this is not acceptable in the solar industry. This solar panel is shaded, irrespective of the fact that it might be shaded for 2 hours, 1 hour. Energy loss is money loss. We don't allow this in the solar industry. Energy loss is money loss. Guide against it and your solar system installation will not suffer. Like this one now, how many solar panels did you use? What was your storage? These hours that this panel is shaded is not producing as it's supposed to. So remember, they are using the solar battery. So why waste power? So energy loss is always money loss. So you are throwing money away here. So you don't have to allow any shading come close to where your panel is. This one is the worst. So you cannot carry solar panels, go and mount under shade now. This is not acceptable in the solar industry. Check for shading and advise the client accordingly. You can't mount solar panels here until the roof, the trees here are cut off. So make sure you test for earthing in the facility and be sure that the earthing is perfect or excellent. And be sure that your earthing is perfect or excellent. Don't joke with earthing, please. I had already said that without professional earthing, don't install, else you enter trouble. So we come to the end of this module, and we want to give you an assignment to test your understanding of this particular module. We want to give you an assignment to test your understanding of this particular module. Will you come with us? We are going gradually. Don't worry, we will get there. We want to talk about the solar industry, and we promise that we want to give you the nitty-gritty, the secrets surrounding the solar industry, so that when you venture into it, you don't make the costly mistakes that other people are making. Don't forget, we are talking about first thing first, the secrets made simple. Assignment number 1. What is power audit? Why conduct power audit? What is energy management opportunities? Mention 7 energy management opportunities you can adopt to reduce the cost of your solar system installation. Then mention the different stages of any solar power audit exercise. And from what you have learned, will you advise someone to go solar without a professional power audit? Will you? From what you have learned, mention 5 tools and their function during any solar power audit exercise. Mention 5 tools and their function during any solar power audit exercise. And list the step-by-step approach needed to follow during any solar power audit exercise. List the step-by-step approach needed to follow during any solar power audit exercise. Then all assignment, move them to Subway Schools 01@gmail.com. See you in a moment.